We open in a sterile hospital room. The drip-drip-drip of an IV sets a somber tone as our protagonist lies unconscious, hooked up to machines. Petals fall from the dying flower, emphasizing the passing of time and the seemingly dire situation of the protagonist. Dramatic much. Suddenly, our hero's eyes snap open. He gasps, clearly startled and disoriented. This is no ordinary awakening, my friend. He breathes heavily, trying to get his bearings. He's confused, asking himself, where am I? And then the classic manhwa trope, I've been reborn, cue dramatic music. He realizes he's in a hospital bed, but something is horribly wrong. His legs are bandaged, seemingly crippled. My legs, he cries out, the initial shock of rebirth turning into horror. A young woman with vibrant orange hair rushes to his side. Brother, you're finally awake. She's overjoyed, tears streaming down her face. Looks like he's got family in this life. Our protagonist, still reeling from the realization of his disability, is comforted by his sister, who declares everything will be all right. She vows revenge on the hit-and-run driver who caused his injuries and assures him his legs will be cured. Sweet but a little naive, don't you think? The story flashes back 1 year earlier, to the accident that changed our lead's life. A speeding car brutally strikes him as he walks down the street. This isn't your typical isekai truck-kun, but it gets the job done. We learn our main character was Shen Cheng, a young, successful chairman of Rising Sun International Group, the youngest billionaire in the country. A woman frantically calls for help and an ambulance. Being rich and successful clearly didn't protect him from a truck of fate's evil cousin, the hit-and-run driver. The accident left him crippled. Time passes, and we see him in a wheelchair, reflecting on his situation. His focus on treatment has consumed him. Enter the antagonist, Xiao Tiankai, who we learn is our hero's most trusted brother. Xiao Tiankai has been using the protagonist's misfortune to his advantage, seizing control of Rising Sun International and even forcing the sister to marry him in exchange for continuing the protagonist's treatment. What a jerk. Xiao proposes the twisted deal to the distraught sister, grabbing her arm. Our hero, witnessing this from his bed, yells for him to let her go. Xiao dismisses the protagonist's protests with a condescending smirk, while the sister tearfully pleads for her brother to save her. The protagonist is helpless in his current state. This sets the stage for some serious payback, doesn't it? Overwhelmed with rage and grief, the protagonist cries, burning with resentment. Later, a game called Divine Path emerged with 100% realism. The in-game currency could be exchanged for real money, and it became a global sensation upon release. The character attributes in the game could affect reality. The protagonist is back in his dilapidated doghouse, contemplating his next move. It seems he's hit rock bottom. Shen, now understanding the depth of Xiao Tiankai's betrayal, reflects on his past failures and losses. He was no match for Xiao Tiankai's ruthlessness, which cost him everything. He is overwhelmed with a sense of injustice and desperation. Xiao Tiankai taunts Shen, flaunting his newfound power and success. Shen watches, simmering with rage and thinking, this should have been mine. This guy needs a serious win, and soon. Now burning with a renewed desire for revenge, Shen vows that everything belongs to him. His expression is intense, his eyes blazing with a newfound determination. Get ready for a comeback story, folks. Shen has lured Xiao Tiankai into a trap. Xiao Tiankai mocks the setup, assuming a room full of explosives is no threat to him. Shen, however, has a plan. With a chilling glare, he tells Xiao Tiankai they can die together. Talk about taking revenge to the extreme. Shen detonates the explosives. The building is engulfed in flames and Shen lies amid the wreckage, seemingly defeated. Oh no, did our hero just sacrifice himself? Twist, Xiao is alive. He has gained immense power, seemingly from the divine path, and the explosion hasn't harmed him. Shen, utterly shocked, can only watch as Xiao rises from the inferno. The tables have turned dramatically. As Shen lays defeated, Xiao reveals a final devastating truth. He orchestrated not only Shen's accident but also the deaths of Shen's parents. He gloats, claiming the last of the Shen bloodline will bear his surname. That's some next-level villainy. Shen is overcome with grief and anger at this final revelation, but he's also filled with a burning resolve. He refuses to give up. Shen comforts his crying sister, vowing to protect her and reclaim what is rightfully theirs. He declares he'll tear Xiao Tiankai to pieces. Now that's what I call a manhwa promise. Shen devises a plan. He realizes his disability hinders him, but he knows a game called Divine Path launching soon has the potential to affect reality. This game could be his key to turning the tables. Shen asks his sister to buy him a Divine Path gaming pod. She's surprised by his sudden interest in gaming, as is Xiao Tiankai, who arrives shortly after. This is where the real game begins. Xiao Tiankai questions Shen about his gaming request, expressing concern about the company and testing Shen's resolve. Shen plays along, pretending to be a crippled man seeking solace in games. Xiao Tiankai reveals the gaming pods are limited and expensive, already at 300 million. Shen insists on getting one, even if it costs 3 billion. Xiao Tiankai agrees, feigning concern while inwardly relishing the thought of Shen wasting company funds. He's playing right into Shen's hands. Xiao Tiankai leaves, eager to watch Shen's downfall. Shen, however, has a plan to keep his sister safe from Xiao Tiankai's unwanted advances. He uses the excuse of wanting to spend more time with her to prevent Xiao Tiankai from getting close. Smart move. Xiao Tiankai fumes about Shen's survival, revealing he hired a killer to finish the job during the accident. What a persistent scoundrel. Shen orders Little Tong to transfer all of his money and sell the company's stocks, intending to cripple Xiao financially. Shen's sister is understandably confused and worried. Shen tells his sister not to worry, claiming he needs to bet big. Now we're talking. 3 hours later, the gaming pod arrives. It's time to enter the divine path. Shen logs in, ready to reclaim his life and exact his revenge. Shen enters the game world. He can move freely again. He chooses his in-game name, Chao Ju Wang, Morning Wine Elegy. Now that's a poetic gamer tag. Shen selects his class. Surrounded by iconic class representations, warrior, mage, knight, etc., he opts for ranger, a class he's familiar with from his past life. He's ready to unleash his skills. Shen confirms his class selection, ranger, and equips his bow and arrow. He's back in action, and this time he's playing for keeps. Our protagonist, a sly-looking fellow, is back. He's ready to take on his new life, having learned from his past mistakes. He's got a plan, and he's sticking to it. Here's the classic reincarnation reveal. Bathed in magical light, he's blessed by some majestic elf deity. This suggests some serious ranger powers are about to come into play. Boom. Elf bloodline acquired. This epic-level bloodline grants our hero some sweet buffs to accuracy, critical rate, evasion, and movement speed. He's going to be a slippery, hard-hitting ranger. Look at that smug face. He's pulling out weakness detection, a legacy skill from his previous life, and it's going to help him obliterate his enemy's weak points. He's already mastered this skill from his past life, meaning he's got a serious advantage in this new world. Talk about a head start. Surprise! As one of the first 100 VIP players, he's got an exclusive treasure chest. It's glowing pink, so you know it's good stuff. But wait, there's more. A second chest appears and our hero is understandably surprised. This wasn't part of the plan. The central character senses great power within this new mysterious chest. This is where the story gets spicy. This chest holds a rare talent ability, but it comes with a hefty price tag, 50 million gold coins. 50 million gold coins? That's a ridiculous amount, even for a reincarnated VIP player. He realizes that's 500 million RMB, a small fortune. Recharge. Our hero doesn't hesitate. He knows this is a game changer, and he's not letting this chance slip away. Despite the astronomical cost, he knows he has to grab this opportunity before someone else does. This guy's got his priorities straight. We get some exposition about talent abilities. They're random attributes that give new players a significant edge. These can drastically change a player's path in the game. We see other players with varying talents, hinting at the diverse possibilities within the game. Some ride dragons, others wield lightning, showcasing the wide array of abilities. More game lore. The earlier a player enters, the rarer the talent. This explains our hero's urgency to get in and grab that special chest. Our protagonist reminisces about his previous life's talent, an additional bleeding damage effect. He hopes for something even better this time around. He recharges 500 million gold coins. This man is committed to power. The moment of truth. He unlocks the mysterious talent. A bright light erupts as he opens the chest. The anticipation is killing me. The talent revealed, evolve everything. What? This is insane. Our hero's expression says it all. He's struck gold, literally, with this ridiculously powerful talent. The majestic elf appears again, now engulfed in golden light, symbolizing the evolution of the protagonist's bloodline, classic Manhwa dramatic flair. He acknowledges the rarity of divine talent evolution. This confirms that he's stumbled upon something truly exceptional. Shen checks the skill details to understand the full extent of his new power. The Evolve Everything talent has two aspects: passive evolution, which upgrades dropped items, and autonomous evolution, which upgrades items, tools, skills, or gems over time. Shen absorbs the power, visibly empowered by the Evolve Everything talent. The purple glow-up is always a good sign. He marvels at the game-changing potential of this ability. He's ready to dominate. Shen is confident he'll outshine everyone with his evolved items. leaving other players in the dust with their bronze and silver loot. He's also ready to crush all beneath his feet. A little ambitious perhaps. He's eager to test out his new power by killing some monsters. Standard operating procedure for any self-respecting manhwa protagonist. Then he discovers the 24-hour cooldown. Oof, the first evolution is crucial, he realizes. He needs to choose wisely to maximize his gains. Preparations complete. He's about to enter the game. He steps through the game portal, ready to change his fate. Here we go. Entering the beginner's village, he's surprised to see he isn't the first. Looks like some other eager beavers beat him to the punch. He observes the chaos of other players attacking chickens for experience points. This is both hilarious and intriguing. What's the deal with these chickens? It seems he's not impressed by this chicken massacre. He has bigger fish to fry, namely the newbie zone boss and its first kill rewards. He's not going to waste his time with poultry. He knows that every second is important. He heads into the wild monster area, ready to level up. He knows the risks but is determined to be prepared. Checking his inventory, he scoffs at the newbie bow and cloth armor. Not exactly the op gear he was hoping for, and definitely nothing worth evolving. He contemplates his next move. The evolution ability is limited, so he needs to find something with real potential. He has a realization. He decides to evolve his elf bloodline. A risky move but with potentially huge payoffs. The evolution process begins, again with the majestic elf deity appearing, now even more powerful looking. Lots of dramatic light shows as usual. Success. His elf bloodline evolves into the bloodline of the Elf King. The upgrade grants huge boost to hit rate, critical strike rate, attack speed, evasion, movement speed, and even life points. Jackpot. Our hero is ecstatic. He's ready to grind monsters in the newbie zone with his newly acquired god-tier bloodline. Let the monster hunt, begin. He hears a wolf howl, hinting at the next challenge. Time to put those Elf King powers to the test. A level 2 forest wolf appears. And our protagonist is not the only one interested in it. A group of newbie adventurers are also looking to level up. The other adventurers plan to take down the wolf together, confident in their numbers. They seem a little optimistic. Our hero observes, noting that these newbies are smart to team up for safety, but lack survival knowledge. This foreshadows their impending doom. The newbies are quickly surrounded by a wolf pack. Classic rookie mistake. The wolf pack attacks and one of the newbies becomes lunch. The pain feedback in this game is realistic, even if death isn't permanent. Another newbie bites the dust, realizing too late the importance of pack animal behavior. RIP. The mantis stalks the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. Our hero prepares to make his move. Shen attacks with a powerful glowing arrow, striking down one of the wolves. His Elf King powers are no joke. He kills the level 2 wolf, gaining experience and further enhancing his Elf King bloodline. Level up. Shen obtains wolf meat, which his passive evolution upgrades to advanced wolf meat, granting continuous health regeneration. This is a lifesaver for solo grinding. More wolves appear, drawn by the commotion. Our protagonist, now significantly stronger, calmly tests his damage output on the new pack. He's a seasoned player now. He's definitely not afraid of any wolves. Shen is clearly enjoying himself, eager to explore the full extent of his evolved abilities. This is just the beginning of his overpowered adventure. Our protagonist, seemingly imbued with the Elf King's bloodline, exuding an aura of power and speed, he stands ready to face some wild wolves, a determined look on his face. The wolves launch themselves at our hero, but thanks to his Elven King bloodline's passive 100% speed increase, he's more than a match for them. Shen effortlessly dodges the wolves' attack, showcasing the incredible speed granted by his bloodline. The motion blur emphasizes just how fast he is. The protagonist, using his speed, leaves the wolves in the dust. He's practically a blur of motion. The lead player, having evaded the wolves, tumbles down a small cliff, rustling through the foliage as he goes. Shen continues his descent, landing smoothly at the bottom. Clearly he is quite agile. Now safely down, the main protagonist marvels at his enhanced speed, courtesy of the Elven King bloodline. He recognizes the advantage it gives him as an archer, making his path to power much easier. Confident in his speed, our hero taunts the wolves, calling them mutts as they struggle to keep up. He seems to enjoy toying with his prey. Suddenly he realizes something has caught his attention, prompting a surprised, "Ha!" This is where a true gamer instinct kicks in. He quickly stops, bracing himself for whatever caught his attention. The sudden halt and streaks of motion suggest a rapid change in momentum. Our protagonist looks back, questioning why the wolves have ceased their pursuit. He appears curious and slightly suspicious. The wolves, now looking considerably more cautious, glare at something beyond our hero's view. Their glowing eyes and bared teeth signal impending danger. The manhwa's protagonist has entered the buffalo zone, a higher-level area. He realizes he might be in over his head. A powerful buffalo, the likely reason for the wolves' hesitation, makes its appearance. Its imposing figure and glowing eyes make it clear it's not to be trifled with. The wolves back away slowly, clearly intimidated by the buffalo's presence. The protagonist seems less worried. A pink-haired woman approaches our protagonist, calling him handsome, and invites him to join her team. Classic manhwa trope incoming. The woman introduces her team, comprised of herself, a mage with a wide-brimmed hat, and a blue-haired warrior. They propose hunting buffalo monsters together. The woman further explains they aim to be the first to conquer this area since the server opened. It appears to be a significant achievement in the game world. The mage intervenes, pointing out the protagonist's low level and expressing concern that he would only hold them back. This could be a blessing in disguise for our hero. The lead character declines their offer, choosing to explore other areas. This shows he's independent and likely has his own agenda. The blue-haired warrior questions his decision, asking if he's out of his mind for venturing alone into potentially dangerous territory. Shen explains his reasoning, preferring solo grinding and avoiding the inefficiency of group hunts with wild cattle. He's a lone wolf, literally. The team warns him about the dangers of the next area and the penalties for dying. It's classic MMORPG stuff. Feigning ignorance about the death penalty, he cheekily asks the blue-haired warrior, calling him old man, to elaborate. This sass level is through the roof. The warrior explains that death results in gold and equipment loss. It seems pretty standard for this genre. The blue-haired warrior continues, emphasizing the realistic pain and despair of dying in the game, with the worst consequence being the halving of accumulated experience points. The main protagonist sarcastically thanks them for the information. This scene further shows his lack of interest in joining their group. Shen bids farewell to the pros and departs. It's polite yet very dismissive. As our protagonist leaves, the pink-haired lady and mage discuss him. The lady suggests bringing him along, worried for his safety, but the mage dismisses the idea. The blue-haired warrior agrees with the mage, deciding to let the idiot face the consequences of his decision. It's a rather harsh but understandable stance, considering the game's difficulty. The protagonist approaches a skull, a clue that something is up. He's getting closer to his objective. Shen picks up the skull, recognizing the location as his destination. This is getting spooky and intriguing. Standing before a mountain of skulls, the central character identifies the location as the lair of the biggest boss in the newbie zone, expressing a humorous, yet determined acceptance of the likely fatal challenge ahead. He seems to think this fight is one-way ticket. He tosses the skull onto a large, scaled surface which reacts to the impact. A huge reptilian eye opens, staring ominously at him. The creature, a giant snake, reveals itself. It's massive and intimidating, just as a boss monster should be. Our hero faces the giant Snake King, calmly assessing the situation. That eerie calmness makes me think he is up to something. The giant Snake King's level is revealed to be 10, while the protagonist activates a skill to identify its weakness, the back of its neck. So it begins. He notes his increased health thanks to the Elf King's blood, now exceeding even the boss's HP. That explains his courage. Shen draws a glowing weapon, ready to face the giant snake. It seems magical in nature. Unfazed by the boss's size, our hero boldly declares there's no need to be scared. He's crazy enough to attack this thing. The Snake King attacks, but our hero stands firm. This encounter is a true showdown between David and Goliath, but with magical enhancements and even more sass. Dodging the attack with his superior speed, the protagonist taunts the snake. His agility and confidence suggest he has a plan. He fires an arrow, dealing a minor amount of damage. Frustrated by his low attack power, he strategizes while continuing to kite the slow-moving boss. He doesn't seem discouraged. He fires again, another low-damage hit. The snake starts to defend its weak spot, catching our hero off guard. It's never that easy. The protagonist explains that while the snake's defense is good, his attack speed boost from his king's blood lets him keep up the offensive. He's not giving up. His arrows bounce off the reinforced scales, dealing no damage. The snake is getting better at defense. He finally manages to land a critical hit on the weak spot, dealing significant damage. The battle is far from over. He taunts the snake but seems to realize something crucial. His arrogance may lead him into trouble. The snake retaliates with a poison attack, forcing our hero to cover his face. The protagonist realizes he's been poisoned. losing health rapidly, and calculates the time before he needs to restart. The situation is getting dire. The snake increases the distance between them, clearly trying to wear the protagonist down and exploit his poisoned state. Our hero is not fooled. The lead character mocks the snake's strategy, seemingly ready for his next move. He's not backing down. He unleashes a powerful fiery attack, fueled by his elven king's blood. It's time for a counterattack. The attack, a crystal-like projectile, soars towards the snake. It's beautiful and deadly. The attack lands, inflicting a large amount of damage. Now we just wait and see. The elf king's blood arrow of life skill activates, granting him a critical hit on every third attack. Confidently, he tells the weakened snake it can't withstand many more of his hits. Now he just needs to finish it off. A double critical hit inflicts massive damage. The tide of the battle is definitively turning. The protagonist takes damage from the poison, but remains determined to finish the fight. He's a resilient one. Shen's health continues to decrease, but he's still in the fight. He notices the snake's desperate measures. The snake, realizing the protagonist's critical hits are too strong, resorts to tail attacks that cover a wide area. Our hero assesses the change in tactics. Evading the tail attacks, Shen criticizes the snake's predictable strategy. He's toying with it now. He confidently outmaneuvers the snake, claiming it's overestimating its speed. He's like a matador teasing a bull. Aiming for a different area, he lands a critical hit, dealing increased damage. He seems to have discovered a new weak spot. Satisfied with his discovery, the protagonist plans to exploit this new weakness to end the fight quickly. The snake appears to be laughing. The snake's attack fails, missing him completely. The end for the snake is in sight. Our protagonist, looking intensely focused with glowing eyes, is in some kind of precarious situation. Shen seems to be bracing for huge impact or preparing for a powerful attack. He's falling, definitely not a good sign. He's landed, hard I'm guessing, and figures out he's been tricked. The protagonist realizes the attack wasn't just to hurt him but to cause a cave-in and trap him. This enemy is cunning. Classic manhwa moment of realization. Something else is happening and it doesn't look good. More purple smoke billows from the depths of the cave. The lead player suspects it's poison, and a seasoned manhwa reader knows never to underestimate poisonous gas in a cave. Yep, it's poison and it's getting worse. The game interface pops up, showing poison deepened 20 HP damage per second. Current hydrogen phosphide 600. This could be lethal. Damn, the poison stacks. Our hero is starting to sweat, and rightfully so. 20 HP per second is a death sentence for beginners, as he rightly points out. Despite the dire situation, he's impressed by the boss's tricks. He equips high-grade wolf meat. Gotta love a protagonist who appreciates a good challenge. He's not backing down. He chows down on the wolf meat, eager to see what loot he'll get after killing the boss. This is the kind of confidence we love to see. The wolf meat boosts his HP regeneration and speed, giving him a fighting chance against the poison. 20 seconds to turn the tide. It's a classic manhwa power-up. He's making his move. With his enhanced speed he climbs, the fate of the battle hanging on these precious seconds. Shen unleashes an attack, a blazing streak of purple energy. His determined expression shows he's going all out. A giant snake, the boss, appears, spewing more poison. Our hero leaps onto its back, ready to finish this fight. "Hello?" he shouts, clearly enjoying himself now. He fires a powerful crystal-tipped arrow at the giant snake. The arrow strikes. The giant snake roars in pain as the attack connects, and he follows up quickly. The protagonist is relentless. The snake tries to escape, burrowing into the cave wall. Our protagonist isn't letting it get away. He shoots another crystal arrow, piercing the snake's thick scales, creating a glowing wound. This guy is a sharpshooter. The snake's eye glows ominously. Arrow looks like a last-ditch effort. A fiery power-up. Our central character's sword is engulfed in flames, powered by some sort of blessing or skill. He thrusts his flaming sword down at the snake, landing a critical hit. Another powerful flaming arrow. The snake takes 200 points of damage and is finally defeated. He lands gracefully, bow in hand, ready for the next challenge. Legend Feld appears on screen. Victory. The poison dissipates. The system congratulates him on the server's first kill of the boss. He gets a spot on the glory board and the option to hide his ID. "Hide ID," he scoffs. "No, I've been hiding for long enough. It's his time to shine." He's earned it. His victory is announced server-wide. Our hero is now a legend. He stands tall, basking in the glory of his achievement. Meanwhile, other players are just starting the game, completely unaware of the feat he's just accomplished. One player complains about someone beating him to the boss kill. This is where the fun begins. Other players discuss the shocking news. Someone soloed the boss at level 3. They wonder about the first kill rewards, speculating about high-value equipment. They also discuss taking care of a girl in their party. Smooth fellas, real smooth. The server announcement comes through, revealing main hero's achievement. The other players are stunned, realizing they've been completely outclassed. They're shocked. They can't believe someone is stronger than them, especially so early in the game. He puts all the points into agility, maximizing his speed and evasion. Smart move. He checks his stats, pleased with his progress, and prepares to check the loot. Shen approaches the giant snake's remains, excited to see what treasures it dropped. He mutters, noticing something interesting. Passive evolution. His loot automatically increases in quality, turning silver coins into gold. Talk about a game-breaking skill. He realizes the value of the gold coins, especially in the beginner area. Meanwhile, other players bemoan their meager loot. The disparity is hilarious. The gold starts glowing, another evolution. Our hero is thrilled, eager to see the new rewards. He finds a crystal coin, an extinct rare currency that can be used to purchase special items and increase NPC favorability. He recognizes the coin from his previous life, excited about its potential. He collects all the dropped items, ready to explore their uses. He checks his backpack, finding a silver snake sword. It's not a bow, which is his preferred weapon, but it could be sold for a decent price. Next up, Azure Scale Armor. It even has a shield effect, better than the normal version. He realizes that the armor requires level 10 to use. It's a little frustrating, but he remembers the silver treasure chest he received. Shen opens the chest, and his expression tells us something amazing is inside. 7-star chain arrows, a legendary archer skill. This changes everything. He's amazed by the skill, which fires 7 arrows dealing true damage. It also requires level 10, but he's determined to level up fast to unlock its potential. Is anyone there? Help me, a voice cries out. Our hero investigates. He finds a beautiful woman, Lady Gu, an NPC rumored to give hidden quests. She's injured and hiding from the giant snake. Shen assures her the snake is dead. She asks him to carry her out because her foot is injured. He's blushing. A classic manhwa hero moment. He carries her to safety, and the beauty thanks him profusely. She promises to take good care of him next time they meet. New quest unlocked. This is just the beginning of his adventure. Our protagonist thinking, what, next time? Clearly, he's not one to back down from a challenge. At this moment, our hero suddenly and unexpectedly opens his arms wide and the girl quickly falls down, hitting the stone floor. A real gentleman. Lady Gu, sitting on the ground, tells our hero that she doesn't have much to repay him with except her body. She then suggestively asks, do you want to? Oh boy, here we go. Classic manhwa trope alert. The protagonist is having none of it. He shouts, stop it, I don't want that. This guy is a man of principle, I see. He's here for adventure, not that. Lady Gu chuckles, hee hee. She seems amused by his reaction and offers him something else, the Black Moonblade bronze, a weapon seemingly meant for an assassin class. Is this a bribe, a peace offering, or is there more to this blade than meets the eye? He accepts the blade. The transfer seems to have some magical energy associated with it. Maybe accepting this mysterious weapon wasn't such a good idea after all. She leans in close and whispers, asking for one last chance to give her the hidden class. He seems confused, questioning what hidden class she's talking about. Intrigue thickens. Things take a darker turn. A sinister shadow looms over a frightened young girl in a pink dress labeled Lady Gu's daughter. The text reveals that the lead character must find this 14-year-old girl with the surname Gu. The woman he rescued is shocked and asks how he knows all this. Clearly, there's a backstory we haven't uncovered yet. The woman agrees to help him unlock the path to the hidden class. Our slightly annoyed protagonist wonders why she didn't just do this from the start. Honestly, same. Some characters just love to drag things out. Ladu Gu performs some sort of ritual, her hands glowing with magical energy. The protagonist stands nearby observing the process. This seems to be the key to getting him that hidden class. A glowing portal opens, described as the hidden class trial. The protagonist thanks her, but she warns him not to thank her too soon. He sees a system message, and it doesn't look good. The protagonist is suddenly transported to a desolate, sandy landscape. He's freaking out because he's facing the Shadowhunter trial at a hard level. Despite being only level 7, he's only supposed to be at a beginner level. He realizes he was tricked. This trial is do or die, and failure means permanent disqualification. Talk about high stakes. An ominous voice reveals the reason for the hard trial. Someone dared to set their plans on Lady Gu's daughter. It's clear that Lady Gu isn't playing around. Lady Gu's favorability towards the lead character has decreased to 0. He realizes he needs to increase favorability to unlock something. The protagonist is trapped by a magic seal, The portal back is already open, and there's no way out except through the trial. The woman tells him his success depends solely on his skills. Undeterred, our hero declares she shouldn't underestimate him. As he dives into the portal, he hilariously promises to go find her daughter. He lands in a desert, coughing from all the sand. A strange spiky object emerges from the ground. Our hero questions what this thing is, and just then a bunch of sandy thorns burst out, nearly impaling him. This trial is already proving to be more than he bargained for. A massive spiky worm erupts from the sand, and the main protagonist identifies it as the trial enemy. He activates his weakness detection ability, which targets the worm's mouth. He now knows the enemy's stats, a level 5 ground sandworm elite. Shen fires an arrow at the worm's mouth, dealing 130 damage. He notes that the worm becomes clumsy out of the sand, making it easier to hit. The worm retaliates by smashing a giant rocky fist out of the ground. The worm charges at him again, and the protagonist barely dodges. He observes that the worm is very agile underground. He's going to need a better strategy. The lead player spots a large stone pillar and decides it's the perfect vantage point. He runs towards it as the sandworm dives back underground. The worm attacks again from below, but he dodges and fires 2 arrows at its exposed mouth, dealing 130 and 260 damage. He's starting to get the hang of this. He comments about how easy it is once he's not being ambushed. The worm spits sand at him, blinding him. He realizes the worm is trying to mess with him. The blinding effect reduces his vision and attack accuracy. Our hero struggles with the blinding effect but makes it to the stone pillar. The blinding effect expires, and he can now see clearly again. The protagonist notes the worm's monotonous attack patterns. It's time for a counterattack. He taunts the worm and fires an arrow. The chapter ends mid-action, leaving us wondering if he will finally defeat this sandy monstrosity. The suspense is killing me. Shen stands before a massive stone tablet, bow in hand, looking ready to rumble. He's got that classic "I'm about to wreck some stuff" smirk, which is always a good sign. A giant sandworm bursts from the ground, proving this isn't going to be a walk in the park. Our hero taunts the worm, showcasing some quick thinking by dodging its sand-spitting attack using a stone pillar. Talk about using the environment to your advantage. The protagonist's crystal-tipped arrow pierces the sandworm, dealing some serious damage. He follows up by deftly avoiding the worm's enraged counterattack. This guy is agile. Shen taunts the worm again, questioning its limited moveset, classic manhwa trash talk. He then declares his intention to take the worm's head if that's all it's got. Looks like things are about to escalate. The protagonist unleashes a flurry of attacks, raining arrows down on the sandworm. The damage numbers pop up and we see the worm's HP plummeting. Finally, it reaches 0, and a satisfying "sandworm is dead" message flashes across the screen. Victory. Level up. Our hero gains a level, some coins and sand boots. He seems less than impressed with the loot drop, calling them trash. Relatable. Who wants sand boots when you could have a legendary sword? He examines the giant stone tablet again, noticing the glowing inscription. It seems there's more to this desert than meets the eye. More sandworms emerge. Our hero realizes this is the perfect grinding spot. Despite the increased danger, he needs to figure out a way to lure them out one by one. A brilliant idea strikes. The protagonist decides to use coins to create ground vibrations and attract the worms individually. He throws silver coins, calculating the perfect weight to trigger the desired effect. This is some next-level strategy, folks. The coins work like a charm, drawing out the sandworms one at a time. Perched atop the stone tablet, our hero prepares for another round of monster slaying. A flashback reveals the protagonist using a powerful glowing ability alongside a masked figure. It seems our hero has a past shrouded in mystery. He comments on the extravagance of the fight. Intriguing. Back in the present, he struggles against a sandworm's tough defense, noting the low damage output of his attacks. But he's got money, and in the world of manhwa, that solves almost everything. He continues his coin-throwing strategy, luring out more sandworms. 4 hours and countless worms later, he's finally finished clearing the area. Another level up, he's reached level 10 and gained a significant boost to his stats. The protagonist checks his character details and realizes his luck stat is abysmal. This might explain the less-than-stellar drops. He decides to put all his attribute points into luck. Turns out, luck affects hit rate and evasion too. Passive evolution activates. Things are getting interesting. A powerful beam of light shoots out from the protagonist, obliterating a sandworm. He's definitely not messing around anymore. Another flashback shows our protagonist lamenting his lack of resources in a previous life. It seems this current adventure might be a second chance. He notices a purple light emanating from the tablet, signaling a legendary item drop. Finally, some decent loot. He excitedly rushes to claim his prize. It's the Sand Escape skill, a legendary ability that allows him to move freely through sand. While he initially finds it unimpressive, he acknowledges its potential for survival and surprise attacks. Our hero learns the new skill and equips some new armor. Feeling the significant boost to his power, he's now the highest level player on the server. He wonders what to do next. Suddenly, all the words on the tower light up, indicating he's cleared the entire level. He checks for drops, but there's nothing there. Confusion sets in. An earthquake strikes. The tower starts to glow intensely, and our protagonist realizes something big is happening. The earthquake subsides, revealing glowing steps leading into the tower. He senses the real reward lies inside. It's time to test his new skills and equipment. A girl with bright orange hair, Xiao Tong, appears, calling out to our hero. She's made him his favorite meal. He's startled to find her inside the game pod with him, realizing she must have climbed in. He tries to exit the game, worried for her safety, but the system warns him he'll lose the chance to obtain a hidden profession. Xiao Tong tells him to stop playing and rest as he has been playing for 8 hours. He yells at her to behave and not disturb him. This looks like the start of a fun and chaotic duo. I'm hooked. We start with a sassy twin-tailed girl, Xiao Tong, looking thoroughly unimpressed and declaring she doesn't care about our lead player. She's got that classic tsundere vibe, I'm calling it now. Xiao Tong is worried about her big brother, clearly showing a softer side despite her earlier bravado. He, looking stoic and burdened, apologizes to her. Something tells me he's carrying a heavy load, both literally and figuratively. Big brother's resolve hardens. He vows to become stronger, and the image shows him stepping into a swirling vortex of blue energy. Time for a power-up perhaps? He ascends, propelled by this stunning blue energy, rising into a beautiful ethereal sky. The art style here is gorgeous. Our protagonist lands, looking determined, surrounded by crackling blue energy. He's ready to throw down. He's entered a dangerous purple-hued zone and he teleports into something. Oh boy, here we go. A warning sign literally screams danger. Our hero, undeterred, realizes he's found the boss room. Classic manhwa trope. A gigantic crimson spiky thing emerges. Our protagonist looks understandably shocked. What in the world is that? He questions if this is some kind of joke. Honey, I'm asking the same question. The giant creature looms closer, its glowing red eyes promising trouble. Seriously, this thing is the stuff of nightmares. Our hero, clinging to the creature's leg, exclaims in disbelief, a crab in the desert? A desert crab? Manhwa logic is the best logic. The info dump arrives. It's the Sand King, a gold-level boss with ridiculous defense and health. Our protagonist activates his weakness detection ability. No weakness found. Dang, time for plan B, I guess. The Sand King attacks and our hero barely dodges. He notes the boss's surprising speed for its size. Another close call. He manages to dodge again, this time utilizing his agility and speed to avoid the shockwave from the attack. This guy's quick on his feet. Damn, even the shockwave does damage. Thank goodness for armor, or that would have been a truck-sized hit to our hero's health. Another earth-shattering stomp from the Sand King. Our main protagonist realizes dodging alone won't be enough. He charges his weapon with blue energy. It's time to fight back. A direct hit, but only 1 point of damage. The Sand King's defense is insane. The Sand King retaliates with a fiery explosion. Our hero strategizes, realizing he needs to use his speed advantage to avoid the shockwaves. He tries to dodge another attack, but it's too close, he can't dodge at this range. This doesn't look good. Another massive ground-shaking attack. The Sand King isn't pulling any punches. The protagonist barely clings to the Sand King's leg, narrowly avoiding a fatal blow. That was close. He's flung through the air. Talk about a roller coaster of a fight. He confronts the monstrous crab head-on. You damn thing, he yells. He's not giving up. He prepares to unleash a powerful attack. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? You tell it, our hero. He unleashes 7-star linked arrows, a dazzling attack of golden energy. It looks epic. The arrows find their mark, dealing significant damage. This attack ignores armor. Finally, a breakthrough. The Sand King takes the hit. Our protagonist explains the 7-star linked arrows mechanics, true damage based on the Sand King's max HP ignoring armor. Clever. The Sand King is enraged. It prepares to retaliate, and our hero knows it's going to hurt. He narrowly dodges a flurry of attacks. He's out of mana. Oh no, not now. The Sand King launches another attack, sending the central character flying. He wonders if this thing is trying to send him into orbit. Haha. He lands hard, taking damage as his shield deactivates. You dog can't get enough, he taunts the Sand King even as he's getting pummeled. This guy's got guts. He fires another 7-star arrows despite his low health. Desperation move. He clutches his weapon, mana completely depleted. He needs to find another way. The Sand King is enraged, perched on top of him. This looks bad. Out of mana, he realizes he's doomed if he runs out of health. The Sand King's ultimate attack is revealed, the Sandstorm. 16 damage per second movement restriction and blindness. This is a death sentence. He's caught in the sandstorm. What the hell kind of rogue skill is this? He cries. I'm with you, buddy. He struggles against the wind pressure, unable to move or escape. He takes massive damage, realizing the full hit would be fatal. He continues to take damage, calling the Sand King a cheater. Haha, I'm dying. He's trapped. He knows getting caught like this will be either fatal or severely injure him. A critical hit. He lands a powerful blow, finally dealing some real damage. He taunts the Sand King. The Sand King retaliates fiercely. This fight is relentless. Our protagonist is caught in another sandstorm. Just you wait, he vows. This guy's spirit is unbreakable. A few minutes pass, the dust settles, and the Sand King is wriggling. What is going on? The protagonist fires another arrow, hitting the Sand King's exposed underbelly. He asks, "Are you surprised?" "Heck yeah, we're surprised." The arrow strikes true, causing even more damage. A swirling vortex of energy appears, labeled Storm Activated, suggesting an imminent attack. Our protagonist, bracing himself against the storm, activates Sand Escape to evade the onslaught. He confidently declares his lack of fear, hinting at previous encounters with this attack. Utilizing his quick thinking and a skill that minimizes ground damage, the lead character takes a hit, losing 130 hydrogen phosphide, but successfully mitigates a potentially larger blow to the enemy, inflicting 260 damage, as displayed by the HP counters. The enemy, a large pink crab-like creature, seems unfazed. The protagonist observes the monstrous crab, seemingly unimpressed by its descent from a higher vantage point. The crab then launches a swift claw-based attack. Our hero nimbly dodges the attack and pops up from the ground, cheekily greeting the surprised monster. The lead player boasts about his skill's lack of mana cost and cooldown, highlighting its legendary status. The main protagonist then proceeds to rapidly strike the crab in a specific location, inflicting minimal HP 1 damage with each hit. This seems like a deliberate act of provocation, designed to irritate the monster rather than inflict significant harm. The sly grin on his face confirms this playful taunting. The crab, enraged by the annoying attacks, yells at our hero, calling him a jerk. The protagonist, feigning surprise, realizes the crab can talk. 3 hours pass, filled with off-screen fighting. The protagonist, now visibly tired, decides it's time to end the fight. He prepares his 7-star arrows, signaling a powerful finishing move. Taunting the weary crab one last time, he asks if it's rested enough and threatens to strike first. The crab, realizing the inevitable, surrenders. The protagonist expresses surprise at the crab's surrender. The Sand King crab, weeping and calling the slow, drawn-out battle torture, begs for a quick death. Our hero laments the crab's high defense, which has prolonged the fight. Unleashing his 7-star arrows, the protagonist obliterates the Sand King crab, reducing its HP to 0. A victory message appears, congratulating him on slaying the Sand King and rewarding him with 3 level-ups due to the cross-level challenge bonus. Pleased with his rapid progress, the protagonist revels in being the first to achieve such rapid leveling. Another message appears, granting him the qualification to change to the hidden class Phantom Hunter, which he eagerly accepts. A beautiful, elf-like woman with white hair is briefly shown wielding a fiery sword, perhaps suggesting a connection to the protagonist's new class. The Manhwa then returns to our hero, undergoing a dramatic transformation as his class changes, his eyes glowing intensely. Messages detail the benefits of the class change, including stat boosts and the Phantom Hunter talent, which grants extra attribute points with each level up. The protagonist is thrilled with the power boost. The new class grants 2 exclusive skills: Phantom Summon, which allows summoning a powerful phantom to fight alongside him, and Death Trap, an invisible ground trap that significantly boosts damage. Analyzing the new skills, our hero comments on their growth potential. He also contemplates the evolution possibilities of his Phantom. A passive evolution activates, thanks to his investment in luck points, leading to another flashy transformation. He swiftly defeats another Sand King crab, collecting loot and commenting on his ambitious gold-earning goal of 1 billion. The protagonist examines his rewards, equipping an armor-piercing bow and steel gauntlets. He also acquires a golden greatsword but acknowledges he can't use it yet, considering giving it away later. A life amulet further boosts his stats. He allocates his attribute points and checks his improved status. A system message warns him about his 15-hour playtime and imminent forced logout, Reluctant to leave, he is logged off mid-sentence, still yearning to grind. Back in the real world, the protagonist wakes up in a futuristic medical pod, grumbling about the anti-addiction system. He reflects on the game's smooth progression. A flashback shows the protagonist, glasses-clad and vengeful, thinking about Xiao Tian and those who betrayed him, promising they'll pay. In his hospital room, a young woman named Xiao Tong is sleeping by his bedside. He admires the porridge she made for him. After initially finding the taste pleasant, he suddenly experiences a shockingly salty and bitter flavor, his face contorting in disgust. Xiao Tong wakes up, relieved that he's stopped playing the game. He apologizes for waking her. She excitedly asks about the porridge, to which he lies, claiming it's delicious. A cheerful young woman urges him to finish his meal. She expresses concern, saying he must be starving. The main protagonist, Mr. Shen, eats his meal with a strange purple aura emanating from it. He sheds tears while eating, suggesting the food might have extraordinary properties or evoke strong emotions. Mr. Shen wakes up in bed, looking dazed and unwell. A nurse, likely tending to him, approaches and inquires about his well-being. The nurse informs Mr. Shen that he had been ill the previous day, experiencing vomiting and diarrhea, which greatly worried Miss, presumably his sister. Another nurse comments on Mr. Shen being a rich, handsome young master, albeit crippled, and considers securing a luxurious life by sticking with him. Mr. Shen dismisses his illness, attributing it to exhaustion from playing games. The nurse offers assistance and assures him she'll do anything for his health. Leaning in close, he then requests her to push his wheelchair to the game pod, prioritizing gaming over rest, much to the nurse's surprise. The nurse questions her importance to Mr. Shen compared to his games, and wonders if her makeup isn't good enough. She then proceeds to push him towards the game pod. He prepares to enter the virtual reality world by saying, "Start." Shen enters the game world, a futuristic environment with digital effects. He looks determined, his eyes glowing with anticipation, ready for action. He is greeted by other players in this new environment. Other players notice Shen's arrival and comment on his presence. The game interface shows 300,000 players currently online. Shen opens his equipment panel, noting that many players are using cheaper VR devices, motivating him to level up fast. Shen checks his current equipment, including armor and a bow, and decides he needs top-tier gear. He plans to fight bosses above level 20 to achieve this. Our hero enters a shop, catching the shopkeeper's attention. The shopkeeper is initially impressed by his silver armor, but Shen is unimpressed, considering the displayed items as bronze-tier junk, knowing that the shopkeeper is hiding the golden-tier equipment. Shen directly asks for the shop's treasure item. The shopkeeper feigns ignorance, claiming to have no such thing and doubting Shen's ability to afford it even if they did. Shen then presents a crystal stone, impressing the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper's favorability increases dramatically, and a secret door is unlocked. Inside, better items, though still only silver tier, are revealed, which are still trash in our lead player's eyes. Shen then notices a unique mask displayed. Shen demands the gold-grade mask, originally priced at 200,000 gold coins but offered to him at a discounted 150,000 due to the crystal stone. He recharges his account with 200,000 gold coins, shocking the shopkeeper with his wealth. Our protagonist keeps the discount, leaving the shopkeeper bewildered but respectful, calling him a VIP customer. Shen rationalizes the purchase, stating the mask's uniqueness justifies the price, equivalent to 2 million in cash. Shen equips the White Tiger mask, a gold-grade item that boosts speed and strength and terrifies lower-level players and monsters. Other players notice the mask and are stunned, recognizing it as a gold-grade item, assuming he cheated. Suspicions of cheating arise, as no gold equipment is supposed to be available yet. A group, led by a warrior with long black hair, confronts Shen, demanding he slow down and hand over the mask. They claim his gear is too good and attempt to bully him into lending it to them. Shen refuses, prompting the group to accuse him of cheating and threaten to rob him. He sarcastically asks if they are going to rob him, drawing a crowd of onlookers eager for a confrontation. The crowd grows, excited by the prospect of a robbery. The antagonists escalate the situation, insulting Shen and demanding he hand over his items or face repeated killings at the respawn point. Unfazed, our hero mocks their foolishness and challenges all three to attack him at once. He reveals their levels, Warrior level 4, Assassin level 5 and Archer level 5, and declares his dislike for trouble. The Archer makes the first move, but Shen sees openings in her stance. He activates his mask's ability, unleashing a spectral tiger, overwhelming the attackers with speed and power. The tiger's roar stuns the other two attackers as the archer is swiftly defeated, spurting blood from the impact. The crowd expresses disbelief at the swift turn of events, unable to see clearly what transpired. The defeated warrior, lying on the ground, questions Shen's intention to kill him each time he respawns. Shen reveals his in-game ID, Morning Wine Evening Song, and invites them to come at him anytime, leaving the crowd in awe. One onlooker recognizes the name and says he has seen that name before, hinting at Shen's fame or notoriety. The leaderboard shows Morning Wine Evening Song dominating at level 13 as a phantom hunter, with the rest of the top 5 lagging at level 8 and 7. Our protagonist is clearly a force to be reckoned with. A group of players gawk at a screen, their faces a mixture of awe and disbelief. Looks like someone's accomplishments are causing a stir. The scene shifts to a defeated player lying on the ground. "Damn it, I've seen him in person," one onlooker exclaims, adding to the mystique surrounding our hero. The protagonist makes his grand entrance, looking stoic and powerful. His futuristic-looking outfit suggests a unique blend of fantasy and sci-fi elements. A close-up of the defeated player's face reveals his anger and shock. This bastard," he cries, clearly not taking the defeat well. Our hero walks away from the scene, seemingly unfazed by his recent victory. Time to move on to bigger and better things. He's on a mission, and it looks like he's found his target. "Before I go back to fighting monsters, there's one more thing I need to do," he thinks, hinting at a more personal quest. He's found a young girl, Gu Linger, sitting peacefully with a frog. This seems suspiciously innocent after the previous battle. Our hero approaches Linger and asks if she knows Madame Gu. Likely her mother, Linger looks surprised, probably not used to being approached by such a powerful player. Linger's sassy side emerges as she protests being called a little girl. "And you're not much older," she retorts, adding a touch of humor to the scene. This girl has spunk. Amused, the protagonist confirms his suspicion, recognizing Linger's feisty attitude as a trait inherited from her mother. This attitude, no doubt it's her, he thinks. He correctly identifies her as Gu Linger, Madame Gu's daughter. Linger understandably is wary. "How do you know my name? What do you want?" she asks. And here's the twist. Our protagonist drops a bombshell. "Your mother promised me that you'd marry me in 5 years. Linger's reaction is priceless. Linger is completely taken aback, sputtering in disbelief. What? That escalated quickly. Linger confronts her mother, Madame Gu, about the alleged marriage arrangement. "Mom, why did you marry me off?" she cries, leaving the protagonist to chuckle at her reaction. Madame Gu, looking concerned, appears, inquiring about the commotion. "What's wrong, Linger?" she asks. Linger tearfully embraces her mother, demanding answers about the marriage promise. Madame Gu seems clueless, adding another layer of intrigue to the story. The protagonist arrives, greeting Madame Gu and reminding her of their past agreement, which included passing a hard difficulty trial, which he clearly did considering his leaderboard rank. He reveals he's a man of his word and is here to claim his bride-to-be. Madame Gu is flustered and threatens to move out if he does anything improper. The protagonist laughs, realizing Madame Gu misinterpreted his intentions. He clarifies that he's after the map for the intermediate dungeon. Classic misunderstanding trope. Madame Gu denies having such a map. The protagonist seems unconvinced. Shen decides to show Madame Gu something impressive to persuade her. He releases a burst of power, startling both Madame Gu and Linger. Madame Gu and Linger recoil in surprise at the protagonist's sudden display of power. The protagonist pulls out a beautiful gem. It was a thank you for allowing him to complete a hidden class trial earlier. Madame Gu's favorability rating increases after receiving the gem. This is really for me," she exclaims, clearly smitten with the gift. Linger snatches the gem from her mother, admiring its beauty and thanking the protagonist, calling him Big Brother. "So cute." Madame Gu tries to retrieve the gem, insisting they don't need the protagonist's stuff. Linger, clinging to the gem, cheekily asks the protagonist if the marriage proposal is real. This little girl is playing matchmaker. The protagonist plays along, saying it's true but that he needs the map first. Madame Gu reluctantly agrees. Madame Gu explains the rules regarding the intermediate map, which can only be handed over after 20 days. However, she offers to share a secret. Madame Gu reveals the village chief has permission to give out the map to players who like challenges. Linger chimes in, knowing where the chief's house is. Linger offers to take the protagonist to the village chief. Her enthusiasm is adorable. They arrive at the village chief's house, It looks cozy and peaceful. The village chief, a fox-eared woman, is enjoying a nap in the sun. This is the life. Linger's arrival interrupts the chief's nap, announcing visitors. The village chief grumbles about being disturbed but asks who's looking for her. Shen gets straight to the point, requesting the intermediate dungeon map. The village chief recognizes him as the #1 player. The chief advises the protagonist, who is only level 13, to wait until he's level 20 before attempting the intermediate dungeon. Linger seems to support this advice, for now. The protagonist tries to bribe the chief with the gem, but she isn't swayed. She's a woman of integrity, or so she says. The chief claims her refusal is for the protagonist's own good, but Linger intervenes, arguing that since the chief is so upright and honest, she should give the map to her big brother. Smooth move, Linger. Linger inserts the gem into a small stone. The protagonist finds her less annoying than he initially thought. Her mischievousness might be working in his favor. The chief maintains her stance, explaining the dangers of the intermediate dungeon for a level 13 player. The protagonist, determined, asks what if he can prove his strength. The chief seems intrigued and ready to make a deal. The chief offers a task. If the protagonist completes it, she'll give him the map. The task involves dealing with a pack of wolves that attacks the village annually. The problem seems never-ending because of the pack leader. The chief reveals the leader, the fearsome White Wolf King. She tasks the protagonist with taking it down and bringing back its pelt. The quest details appear. The protagonist accepts the challenge. Shen confidently tells the chief to get the map ready. Linger wants to join the protagonist, claiming she can protect him. He, of course, dismisses the idea. Linger insists on going, determined to protect the village and defeat the White Wolf. The protagonist reluctantly agrees to bring Linger along, after realizing he may need help controlling her rather than her help in battle. The mission completion condition emphasizes protecting Linger. Oh no, not a babysitting mission. The protagonist is annoyed by the mission requirements. Linger climbs onto his back, reminding him of his marriage promise. She's relentless. Shen gives in and agrees to let Linger accompany him. They set off on their adventure. They arrive at a creepy location based on the mission hints. They encounter a group of wolves and decide to ask for directions to the wolves' lair. The protagonist swiftly dispatches a wolf and asks the remaining group for directions to the wolves' lair. This guy doesn't mess around. The group, consisting of various classes and levels, informs the protagonist that the area is already taken by them, and he's not allowed to grind levels there. Typical gamer territorial behavior. Our hero questions what they mean by taken. The group reveals their affiliation with the Green Snake Gang, the biggest guild at the moment. The Green Snake Gang informs the protagonist that the buffalo area ahead is also taken by them, and he has to pay a fee to grind levels. Classic Manhwa gang confrontation, just brewing. Our protagonist, looking sharp in his futuristic-esque getup, is questioned by another player about the little girl he's with. He's all mysterious and brooding, giving a classic, none-of-your-business response. Intrigue activated. The protagonist, with a smug look, comments on the other players' grinding methods, calling them inefficient. Oh, he's that kind of player. The one who knows all the secrets. Another player tries to warn our cool lead character about the dangers of low-level wild wolves, thinking he's a noob. Protagonist clearly knows something they don't. The little girl peeks out from behind our hero's cloak, looking adorable and slightly worried. Is she shy, or does she sense something coming? The little girl speaks, warning the protagonist that something is approaching. The tension thickens. Our hero looks towards the approaching danger, asking, "What's that?" Classic setup for an epic entrance. The source of the little girl's worry is revealed. A group of seasoned-looking players with some serious, "I'm here to mess you up" vibes. Oh, Shen says west with a determined look. Is he planning something, or is he just noting the direction of the threat? The other players attack. Our hero shields the little girl, dodging their attack. Protective protagonist points earned. With lightning-fast reflexes, he leaps onto a tree branch, taking the little girl with him. Agile and protective, double points. He taunts the attacking players, questioning their intelligence. He seems confident they pose no real threat. Close-up on a fearsome, glowing-eyed white wolf. This definitely isn't your average, low-level mob. One of the attacking players is splattered with a mysterious blue liquid from the wolf and looks confused. What in the world just happened? The wolf, now revealed to be much larger than initially thought, attacks. It completely obliterates the masked elf player. Brutal. The other players witness their comrade's demise, a look of pure shock on their faces. The remaining players are terrified and run for their lives, yelling, "Run!" Too late for them, I'm afraid. The monstrous wolf makes short work of them one by one. This thing is a beast. The protagonist watches the carnage unfold. shocked that the wolf disappeared and reappeared so quickly. It seems even he underestimated this creature. The wolf attacks the main protagonist. He dodges and then engages, countering with a swift kick. The wolf is sent flying into the air with blood splattering, as it is kicked away by the protagonist. The manhwa pulls a classic move, revealing the wolf's stats. A level 20 white wolf king, its weakness, the abdomen. Now we know why our hero was so nonchalant about those low-level wolves. The protagonist, thinking the wolf's speed was suspicious, pulls out a crystal arrow. Time to test its abilities. The little girl tries to stop him, but he's determined. This isn't just any arrow. The wolf attacks again, leaping through the trees. It seems determined to eliminate the protagonist as well. Our hero pursues the wolf king. He's not letting it get away. The protagonist explains to the little girl why they shouldn't directly engage the wolf king just yet. He's strategic, not just strong. Close up on the adorable, yet determined face of the little girl. She's more than just a damsel in distress. The protagonist wonders how to level up, and the little girl reveals a surprisingly useful tool, an auto-pathfinding map. He's surprised she had this the whole time. She cheekily assures him that sticking with her won't be a loss. I sense a powerful duo forming. An evolution available message appears. Our hero expresses perfect timing as he was pondering how to improve his power. This is where things get interesting. He attempts to evolve his bloodline but encounters an error message. The game literally tells him, "Nice try, ouch, that's got a sting." Undeterred, he decides to evolve his phantom skill. He's not giving up easily. He activates the phantom skill and a huge watery figure appears. It's a water clone of himself. This manhwa is just escalating with each panel. The water phantom is mobile and can attack. The protagonist tests it with a kick. This skill is looking incredibly OP. The narration explains that the water figure is another version of the lead character, made of water. What a cool power. The protagonist decides to test the phantom's abilities further, commanding it to use the 7-star arrow. The water clone draws an arrow made of water, ready to unleash it. Satisfied with the skill, the protagonist halts the attack. He's already impressed with the phantom's capabilities. He then realizes something incredible. The phantom can use skills. This opens up all sorts of strategic possibilities. He decides to evolve the phantom skill again. He activates another phantom evolution, and golden light erupts around the water clone. The water phantom seems to be transforming. Shen gets more buff, and the phantom skill upgrades to double phantom, increasing its duration and attack power. 2 water clones now, that's just unfair. The little girl is amazed and asks if he's cheating. He replies that even cheating couldn't be this powerful. He knows he's got something special. He asks about his win rate against the Wolf King, and the little girl excitedly announces it's risen to 20%. He's determined to make that number even bigger, and he does it by evolving the 7-star arrow skill. The 7-star arrows evolve to the 7-star flaming arrows. Burning enemies is always a good strategy. He's slightly disappointed it didn't evolve to 8 arrows, but the little girl reminds him it's already powerful. And it is. The win rate is now up to 34%. The phantom cooldown completes quickly, and our main protagonist is ready to use the last active evolution. He activates it again, this time with 2 phantoms already out. He tries to activate evolution, but it's still on cooldown. He realizes the phantom inherits his cooldowns as well. Makes sense, but a bit of a bummer. He formulates a new plan and tells the little girl they need to increase their win rate. They leave to find a new strategy. Following the lead character's instructions, they arrive at a body of water. The little girl asks where they are going, and he tells her to just follow him. A large crocodile-like creature lurks beneath the surface. The protagonist swiftly takes down the crocodile with his upgraded 7-star flaming arrows. Boom, headshot. He shouts, "Hit," clearly enjoying the hunt and the spoils of victory. They acquire crocodile meat, a passive evolution that boosts their stats, dinner, and a power-up. Score. The protagonist activates his phantoms again, ready to test his upgraded abilities. It is showtime. 1 hour later. What have they been up to? The little girl is happily enjoying some delicious evolved fish. Her favorability towards our hero increases. He really knows how to win her over. Our protagonist checks his inventory, stocked with advanced carp and crocodile meat. Looks like he's prepping for a serious showdown. He's with a little girl, discussing their chances against the formidable Wolf King. With their recovery items and 3 phantoms, they estimate a 40% win rate. Our hero seems confident though, ready to take down the Wolf King. They're on the move. The little girl follows close behind our hero as they venture into what looks like dangerous territory. Uh-oh, looks like they're not alone. A hooded figure with an eye patch and their apparent boss have appeared on the scene. This doesn't bode well. They've arrived at a creepy cave marked by a skull. The eye patch figure thanks the little girl for leading the way, giving off major "we've been following you" vibes. Our lead player summons a glowing blue phantom. It appears to be a powerful ability, and the art is stunning. Death trap activated. Things are getting intense, and it looks like our hero has a plan. He explains his phantom's trap setting ability. Each phantom can set 2 death traps, with a 60-second duration and a 30-second cooldown. He plans to create a web of death. Smart move, protagonist. The little girl questions his excessive trap placement, but he reassures her. He's noticed the Wolf King's speed and wants to ensure it can't escape. Our central character munches on some advanced fish meat to replenish his mana, getting ready for the fight. The little girl points out their win rate is still below 50%, but he has a confident smirk. He's hiding something. He tells the little girl to hide behind the traps he's set for her protection. He's going to lure the Wolf King out. Classic hero move. Our hero stands before the Wolf King's lair and taunts the beast to come out. Time for the main event. The Wolf King emerges, looking fierce and imposing. Its glowing eyes and sharp teeth are definitely intimidating. The lead player goads the Wolf King, confident that the beast will fall into his trap. But the Wolf King sniffs the air suspiciously and retreats into its lair, foiling our hero's initial plan. This wolf isn't stupid. Our main protagonist is surprised by the Wolf King's caution, while the little girl questions why the mighty beast is acting like a turtle hiding its head. The little girl decides to take matters into her own hands. She wants to see what our hero is really capable of, and even hints at marriage if he impresses her. Talk about high stakes, but then she gets kidnapped. The eye patch-wearing figure has grabbed her. A trap is triggered. Our hero realizes it wasn't the Wolf King who triggered the trap at the cave entrance. Furious, our protagonist realizes the eye patch gang kidnapped the girl. He's not happy about this turn of events. The kidnappers are revealed, standing over a trapped figure. The little girl demands to be released. Feisty. Our hero confronts the kidnappers, who turn out to be the Green Snake Gang. The little girl claims to be a minor and threatens to call her husband, referencing our protagonist, to beat them up. This should be interesting. The eye patch-wearing kidnapper is taken aback by the little girl's claim of being married, while our protagonist wonders if she's referring to him. Lol. The little girl calls out for her husband to save her, causing the Green Snake Gang to burst into laughter. They mock our protagonist for targeting children, adding another layer of conflict to the story. The Green Snake Gang questions our hero's presence in their territory, revealing that they ambushed his brothers earlier. Shen admits to knowing they're the Green Snake Gang, escalating the tension. He denies involvement in the ambush and claims to be just wandering around, but the Green Snake Gang is suspicious. They believe he's after a hidden boss in the area, and claim ownership of all monsters and rewards in the territory. Our lead player, Ever the Strategist, proposes a deal. If they let the little girl go, he'll let them have the hidden boss. He plans to let them weaken the boss and then swoop in to claim the rewards later, prioritizing the girl's safety. The eye patch character, who we now know as Yang Cheng's third young master, scoffs at the negotiation. He's ranked 27th on the heavenly list. Our hero seems unimpressed. He knows even the third young master's father treats him politely. After demanding all their valuables, our protagonist barely stifles a laugh. He didn't want to escalate the situation, but these guys are pushing their luck. The sounds of a roar echo as our hero triggers a trap, revealing the hidden boss. The Green Snake Gang is shocked to discover the boss's existence. Rallied by Yang Cheng's third young master, the Green Snake Gang charges into the cave to confront the boss, leaving our hero behind with the little girl. Our protagonist takes the opportunity to grab the little girl and retreat, promising to settle their business later. He seems to have a plan despite the chaos. Observing the Green Snake Gang from a safe distance, our lead character notes their lack of preparation. They rushed into the cave without even scouting the area first. He set a trap, and they walked right into it. Classic rookie mistake. The Green Snake Gang is caught in a web of traps. Yang Cheng's third young master, determined to save face, activates his berserker giant talent to take on the Wolf King. Talk about an escalation. Our protagonist notes the berserker giant skill. It's a powerful ability that significantly boosts strength and attack power but weakens defense. The little girl asks if he's giving up on their mission to take down the Wolf King. He tells her not to rush and to let the bullets fly for a bit. He's playing the long game. Empowered by his berserker giant form, Yang Cheng's third young master battles the Wolf King. Yang Cheng's third young master boasts about his strength boost, confident in his numbers and healers, but he underestimates the Wolf King's ferocity. Our hero watches the battle unfold. impressed by the third young master's power but seemingly still holding back. Suddenly, the berserker giant is one-shotted by the Wolf King. Everyone is stunned, including our hero, who notes the incredible speed and power of the Wolf King's steel peak claw attack. It dealt 800 damage, ignoring defense. Bam, right off the bat, we have an epic clash. A powerful lightning-wreathed figure is getting absolutely clocked by a giant wolf-like creature radiating pure power. The sheer force of the blow sends shockwaves through the air. His underlings are in shock, stammering, "Boss? This doesn't look good for the first guy." The wolf boss roars, "Run!" and his pack springs into action. The other group is scrambling for their lives. Smart move considering the power difference. Shen Kink, a dark-haired fellow, clicks his tongue in annoyance, clearly not a fan of running. He mutters, "What a bunch of useless rabble. This guy has some serious lone wolf vibes." The giant wolf unleashes a terrifying howl and summons a pack of equally fearsome wolves from a glowing portal. These wolves are on the hunt, and our fleeing group is their prey. Someone yells, "They're chasing us." Yeah, no kidding. Amidst the chaos, a female character shouts at the hooded man, urging him to go back and save their boss. He retorts, "Are you crazy? How can we fight with so many wolves?" He points out that their boss was one-shotted. Pragmatic but also kind of cold. The woman looks conflicted, a but escaping her lips. He snaps back, "Let's go, even bootlicking has to be done at the right time." Harsh, but he has a point. He bids a sarcastic, "Sorry boss," as they continue to flee. This player spots our hooded protagonist walking towards the wolf boss. He asks, "Is that guy looking to die?" The wolf boss seems impressed, saying, "Not bad, you're smarter than I thought." Intrigued, "What's this guy's plan?" Our hero thinks, "Using my trap to take revenge on the wolves that killed you." "Ooh, sneaky." Then, with a predatory grin, he declares, "But next, your opponent will be me." Chills. Our protagonist's glowing eyes and sharp smile tell us he's not messing around. The wolf boss observes him, wondering if he's arrogant for facing him head-on. One of the wolves decides to play dead rather than get involved. A wise choice, perhaps. Our hero taunts, "You're just wolves," before revealing a fierce mask and proclaiming, "But I am a tiger." He summons a spectral white tiger, huge and radiating power. This is getting good. The spectral tiger unleashes a devastating attack, scattering the wolves like bowling pins. The wolf boss, however, remains unfazed, his glowing red eyes fixed on our protagonist. This is definitely a boss battle for the ages. A rapid exchange of energy blasts. The wolf boss fires a barrage of blue energy beams, and our hero narrowly dodges, thinking, "Tisk, this speed is a bit beyond what my accuracy can handle." The wolf boss then uses steel peak claw, but the protagonist is too quick. Our protagonist decides to go all out. He uses a powerful attack, a deep red slash that catches the wolf boss off guard. A young girl shouts in concern, "Bro," and then "Brother," as the wolf boss stumbles back. We see the wolf boss's stats, shield down, HP taking a hit. He's not invincible. He growls menacingly, clearly enraged. The protagonist, blood dripping from his mouth, taunts him, "You like to laugh? You think I can't dodge your attack?" He explains his strategy. By taking the hit, he could lock on to the wolf boss. We see archers preparing to attack. It looks like they were waiting for the signal. They unleash a volley of flaming arrows, 7-star flaming arrow. The wolf boss barely dodges the flaming arrows, but he's looking worn down. He's sustained significant damage, and his expression is a mix of fury and pain. He lands heavily on the ground, panting. Our protagonist, also injured, sits on the ground, but his eyes still burn with determination. The wolf boss calls out to him. The protagonist taunts the wolf boss, enjoying it, while firing another volley of unseen attacks. The wolf boss's HP drops again. This guy's taking a beating. Our hero reveals he's set traps using illusions, claiming that running away is impossible. He then takes a bite out of some high-grade crocodile meat for a health and magic boost. Gotta love those mid-battle snacks. The wolf boss seems to disappear, and our hero wonders if he used an invisibility spell. Suddenly, the wolf boss attacks. The protagonist is caught off guard and his HP plummets. Damn! The wolf boss lands another blow. The protagonist realizes this is the same technique used earlier and suddenly vanishes. He disappears again. This fight is a blur of movement and strategy. A flurry of attacks as the wolf boss lashes out blindly. The protagonist is taking damage, but he seems to have a plan. He coughs, clearly struggling. Such continuous attacks, is he giving me no chance to heal? The wolf boss charges again, shrouded in lightning. Our protagonist looks determined as he prepares his next move, activating another trap. He seems confident. He taunts the wolf boss, saying his teleportation is impressive but he's only good at close-range combat. Our hero explains his trap strategy. With a smirk he says, "It's my turn." He unleashes another 7-star flaming arrow, scoring a direct hit on the trapped wolf boss. "Die," he commands. The arrow pierces the wolf boss, who roars in pain. The wolf boss attacks, and the protagonist is hit hard. His HP is critically low. The wolf boss looks surprised. Our hero, bloodied but grinning, reveals he intentionally didn't dodge, using his body as bait to trigger another trap. He needed just 3 seconds. The final trap springs, and the wolf boss is bound by glowing chains. The protagonist takes the opportunity to launch one last devastating attack, and to be continued. Cliffhanger, our protagonist unleashes a dazzling, fiery attack with his sword, leaving streaks of light in its wake. This looks like a consequential blow, delivered with speed and precision. It screams one consecutive cultives, highlighting speed and power. He's still mid-attack, the energy swirling around him as he pushes his offensive. The force is palpable, and you can almost feel the heat. Random player and his purple-haired companion discuss their next move, hunting wolves. Looks like a classic monster hunting quest in a beautiful riverside setting. Boom, something went way wrong with the wolf hunt. A massive mushroom cloud erupts, leaving our heroes stunned. Did someone just drop a nuke on some wolves? The purple-haired companion and a shocked bystander wonder if it's a hack or a nuke. This definitely wasn't in the monster hunting manual. A cheerful pigtailed girl celebrates the protagonist's victory. "Big brother won," she exclaims. Clearly a fan, maybe even a little sister figure. The defeated enemy, the Wolf King, lies vanquished, HP at a measly 75/4000. Our hero is clearly up. Our protagonist munches on some high-grade crocodile meat, because why not? While analyzing his performance, 9 missed arrows. Seems even overpowered characters have areas to improve. The little sister urges him to finish off the wolf, but our hero says there's something left to do. Intrigue, what's he planning? The pigtailed girl looks confused. She wasn't expecting this twist. Me neither. Another character, wearing a cat-eared hoodie, plays dead after the explosion, trying to figure out what happened. Smart move, if a little cowardly. The cat-eared guy's ruse is discovered as a sword nearly impales him. Busted. The protagonist confronts the now terrified cat-eared fellow, who's shocked he's alive, and asks if he defeated the Wolf King. Seems our hero's reputation precedes him. The cat-eared guy begs for mercy, claiming he didn't recognize our hero. Protagonist says he might spare him for a price. Classic manhwa trope alert. The deal is this. The cat-eared guy has to do something for the protagonist, but he can't reveal what it is yet. Mysterious. The protagonist gives the cat-eared guy the stare of 1,000 burning suns. You better agree. The cat-eared guy explains his precarious situation. Someone named Xiao Tian is trying to undermine him, and he needs help leveling up and securing his position as leader of the Green Snake Gang. Classic gang politics. Negotiations continue, and the cat-eared guy agrees to any condition within his ability. The protagonist, with a smirk, accepts the deal. It looks like another fiery attack might have helped to seal the deal. The cat-eared guy levels up significantly thanks to the protagonist's help. Jumping from level 8 to level 10, he's ecstatic and vows to repay the favor. Our protagonist collects the loot and tells the cat-eared guy to stop calling him Big Brother. He's got a tough guy persona to maintain. Also, he threatens the cat-eared guy with dire consequences if he misuses his name. The cat-eared guy swears loyalty unto death, a bit dramatic, don't you think? The protagonist calls for the little sister. Time to move on. The cat-eared guy promises to contact the protagonist when the time is right. He's clearly got a plan brewing. As they walk away, the little sister thanks the protagonist for his amazing display of strength and skill. Then she drops a bombshell. She's decided to marry him. Wait, what? The protagonist is understandably flustered by the sudden proposal and insists she's just a kid, a pile of data, an NPC. The little sister gets angry. She's not a kid. The protagonist tries to reason with the mini bride-to-be, and she finally calms down. He wants to check his loot. Priorities. The loot includes white wolf pants, which double his movement speed. He's gonna be zooming around the map now. Steel wolf claws, granting a teleporting attack. Op protagonist just got even more op. He deems the claws trash, tough crowd. He finds white wolf fur, a rare item needed for a quest. He acquires a legendary summoning skill, wolf minions, for 20 silver coins. A summoning build? Things are getting interesting. Our hero checks the rest of the loot, which is mostly consumables, and the little sister impatiently wonders why he isn't back yet. Meanwhile, back at the village, a distraught woman, maybe a mother figure, laments the village chief's decision to let the little sister go with the protagonist. She worries about him fighting the Wolf King, thinking he's doomed. A white-haired girl is surprised by something. Is it the protagonist's return? He's back, safe and sound, much to the surprise of the villagers. Looks like he's a bit of a legend in the making. And that, my friend, is the story so far. What a whirlwind. Give it a like and subscribe. See you later, bye-bye.